Hello everyone and welcome to your Saturn placement. After doing Jupiter, I really wanted to get to this one, but of course, just takes time, like the lesson of Saturn. As someone who's kind of an optimist, I guess I would call myself, and I like to believe in the positive things, and I kind of love Disneyland. The serious nature of Saturn was probably the last planet that I really delved into. But there's so much to learn here. Saturn is the realist. It's here to teach you that lifelong lesson. So welcome, my fellow masochists. You have made it to the harshness of reality. I'll make it as pleasant as possible. If you want some feel-good vibes, stop now and watch the Jupiter videos. Just kidding. Saturn is called malefic because it's a place of hardship. Hardships are not random. They're not just the gods laughing at us, or maybe they are, but they are there to teach us a lesson. All of these lessons throughout all of these years, over time, the long haul of Saturn will teach us mastery. So what started as one of your greatest weaknesses will become one of your greatest strengths. When I did the Jupiter videos, one of the comments was that since I presented Jupiter as a superpower, I should present Saturn as Kryptonite. I thought that was such a great idea. Now, I don't know much about the Superman comics, but I do know enough to know what Kryptonite is. If Superman, over time, builds up his immunity to Kryptonite, then that is exactly what Saturn is all about. I also got some criticism for having so much about the actual planet and not as much about the specific traits of your placement. So I'm going to put more in there. But to know about the planet itself is important because it teaches you what's the difference between having a Saturn in Scorpio versus a Saturn ascendant. And when I was first learning about astrology, that was probably the thing that confused me the most. So that is why I spend so much time. Saturn is the slow burn. It's the delayed effect. Usually this area is something that we care so much about, but it seems so unobtainable. And then when we finally get there, we will look back and say it's really worth the journey. This is an area that's going to require dedication, patience, and time. You might feel like your father figure, or God isn't bringing you anything in this area. Like you put so much effort and then it's just not rewarded like Jupiter is. You have to do all of the work, and it's true. There are no spiritual guides or beings that are going to give you that extra boost in this area. This is good old-fashioned blood, sweat, and tears. It's an area that has to be aged like a fine wine. There's also often a lot of shame, which is a huge obstacle. There's this inner voice, you shouldn't do this. Push and pull of something you want, but something you feel is shameful. And for some people, Saturn is mostly about getting past that kind of shame in that area. It won't be easy, but it will be worth it. So let's get into your Saturn placements. Saturn in Capricorn. The mantra that I chose for you is, I will make a lasting mark on the world, but always balance my work with self-care. And the most important respect to achieve is always my own. Saturn is ruled by Capricorn, so it is no surprise that it is very comfortable here. You are a natural leader, you are a hard worker, and there's usually less of a kind of shame or battle within going on in regards to your long-term goals. You have an understanding that you were destined for something, destined to build something, to make something. You just know you were destined for great things ever since you were born. It is just written on your soul. And you have a very serious side, dependable, very strong under stress, a natural leader. Many of you are great at delegating, but if you're not, that's something to definitely learn, because to reach these grand visions that you have, you're going to have to delegate in order for your own body and mental health. You have a natural knack for business. You know what it takes to get somewhere. You know how to look at the real cost of things and what it takes to bring something into reality. You were born to work and to work hard. It's going to take time to build an empire because Capricorn is the goat, so it does not come easily, quickly, or just out of nowhere or through other people, but it's going to take all of your hard work to get there. You are an empire builder. You're probably meant to be the boss, and you like to get things done in a traditional manner. You will probably choose goals that are not too dangerous or risky, but something that is more practical and pragmatic. You're all about bringing things into reality onto the world stage, making it happen. It's not so great if it just stays as an idea. You are a doer and a planner. And since you pretty much won the jackpot with this placement, let's review a few of the downsides. One dark side to be aware of is jealousy taking over, of being so competitive that you're comparing your success to other people constantly. If someone is more successful or wealthier, that causes you great pain. Remember to be kinder to yourself than that, and know that everyone is in a different stage, and give yourself the time that it takes to get there. You definitely need recognition from others. You have big hopes and big dreams, but public recognition is something that's going to take time to build. It won't happen overnight. And while others might have a big cheerleading squad and they just seem to be so charming, and a flash in the pan success early on comes their way, this is not your life. Your life is steadily working on it and eventually getting there. Remember, easy come, easy go. Whatever the landscape of things is today, it's going to change tomorrow. Don't lose sight of your own goals. Now, one other downside of this position is that remember, the two hardest parts for you are the first step and the last step. The first step, because Capricorn is kind of a pessimist, and so it's hard to just say, you know what, let's go for it. That first step of just saying, this is worth it, this is gonna work, and just committing to going. Because once you're committed, you like to stick with things. And the last step, because once you get into working, you are really in your happy place. To stop working or to let go, take a deep breath and enjoy the view, enjoy the reward of getting to where you've gotten. Remember to do that. You're willing to take all of the harshness of what comes in life, but remember to also take the sweetness that comes in life. As a mature person, a Saturn in Capricorn is likely to want the bad news first. Make sure to get the good news too. You're not going to get any quick handouts, but frankly, you don't want them anyway. You're not after flashy attention grabbing because you don't want attention. What you want is something much harder to achieve, which is respect. Whatever you pursue, it doesn't have to be incredibly cutting edge or artistic or groundbreaking, but it has to work. You follow through with projects that you consider to be wins, and you're only willing to take calculated risk, which is why you do become so successful. You're born with natural patience and born knowing that you're going to have to power through those obstacles. Saturn in Capricorn likes a good challenge. Something that can grow with them, has the ability to keep growing. You're also not super rebellious, and you listen to advice of elders and advisors and people that have been there before, which is another key to your success, because while other people might be too stubborn to listen or too arrogant to think that anyone else knows what they're doing, a Saturn in Capricorn is more focused on the end game. So whatever it takes to get there, if it's going to add something, you're going to take it. That ability to sometimes go with the status quo is actually a secret weapon. As silly as this is to say, I think of Ilsa from Frozen when I think of Capricorn, and especially when I think of it in Saturn here because of that just knowledge that there's some purpose for you, that you're here to do something, and it's very true for you. But remember to find a balance here. Yes, you have that mantle of knowing that there's some reason that you're here, but also remember to enjoy the moment and to enjoy the little things of life. The love and laughter and all the in-betweens that make life so fulfilling. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up, or anyone else for that matter. Have faith that you will get there. And remember that your goals are meant to take time. So hope you guys enjoyed my take on Saturn in Capricorn, and come back for the next